Broadcasting live from Bleachbone Verge on the plain of... actually, I didn't check. Amonkhet, I think. This is TapTapConcede. Welcome, everybody, to TapTapConcede. My name is Graham, and joining me is Kathleen.
Hello.
And Cameron.
Huh?
And today, it's a Q&A episode, because it's been a while.
Oh.
So we're going to A your Qs. I almost said Q your A's, but
That's your job.
I question your answers. Wait, hold on.
Yeah, we'll A your Qs and then you Q them right back.
Exactly, yeah.
Q is in Q-U-E-U.
We have queued your Qs.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all in a queue. James is just waiting to push a button. And he'll do that as soon as I tell you that this show is brought to you by Card Kingdom. Check out cardkingdom.com/LRR for all of your card needs. Remember, they'll ship standard sealed product anywhere in the U.S., but they'll ship singles anywhere in the world. And they've got great customer service. And don't forget also, you can sell them your cards too. You can sell them your cards. You can use their decked builder to like put together you could paste a whole deck list into their thing, and it'll be like, you want to buy all those cards? Great. Here's options for all the cards that you've just pasted in there. They're a great place to do that. And using the LRR on there lets them know that we sent you. And we do that because we think that they're a good place to buy cards. Also, you can use the code LRRMTG5 if you're buying anything from Dragon Shield to get yourself a 5% discount on Dragon Shield, which is very cool. And we have Dragon Shield sleeves in our own store, .loadingreadyrun.com. And finally, this show and everything we do is brought to you by you and your kind support of our Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun, or by becoming a member on this channel. And we super thank you for that. Alrighty. Yesterday, James, I think it was yesterday, James put out the call on our Mastodon and Blue Sky? Correct.
I guess actually this is a good time, at least for now. In the past, we've had a LRRMTG Twitter account back in the day. And I think we actually do have a LRRMTG Mastodon account.
It's somewhere, yeah.
It's maybe a little too much. So I think going forward, we're probably just going to use the one account and probably try to tag magic things with LRRMTG. And that way, maybe it's easier to find.
Yeah.
Or mute.
Or
if
mute.
You don't
if you
care.
So desire.
Although chances are, if you're listening
watching
to this,
yeah.
probably not. But okay.
Yeah.
Unless you're hate listening to it.
Yeah.
If
In order
you
to
are.
come up with things for a receipt blog.
I mean, they're still giving us those clicks.
That's
so
still
who's
numbers.
winning?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're loadingreadyrun.com on Blue Sky, and just at loadingreadyrun or loadingreadyrun@kind.social on Mastodon if you're curious. And yeah, so James put out the call for some questions, and then he put together a list, and we have not looked at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
going in completely information low.
Yeah, so let's see. Question number 1 from Rayon Saka. If you could bring back a line of magic products, what would you bring back? Example, Planeswalker decks, spellbooks from the vault, etc.
Novels.
Yeah, dang, all right.
All right, well,
Yeah.
my answer. From the Vault is Secret Lair.
It kind of is.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
I honestly, spellbooks, because or not spellbooks, were they called spellbooks? Were they called Commander Collection? What were they called? They only did 2. They did a green one and a black one, and then they just stopped.
Yep.
They were like a cool little...
They covered all the best colors.
They were like... I mean, to be fair, I bought both of them, and I was like, good. I don't actually care about the other 3, but they should finish them.
Maybe
I would
they
have
did
bought
finish them, and then you didn't know.
No, they only did green and black. They were... What were they called? Was it Commander Collection?
No
Possibly.
idea.
Commander's Arsenal?
No, the
No.
Arsenal was like their first thing way.
Yeah. Although another product I would bring back is the life counter from the Commander Arsenal.
You know,
Yes.
That was useful.
we were given a couple of those that somebody had custom made
They
at
3D printed them.
MagicCon Chicago.
Ooh.
So
Yeah, well maybe
magnets.
the boat has sailed on the magic doohickeys,
right.
right? I think that lunch has probably been eaten by 3D printers.
But
I think the
novels.
novels.
Yeah.
Novels. Like, you have good authors. Maybe give them more than 10 pages
Well,
per set.
I also just look at what Warcraft has done with their novels. Like
Warhammer?
Warhammer or Warcraft.
Yeah,
Warhammer.
Yeah, Warhammer's
novels.
they Black Library has been publishing Warhammer novels for 27, 28 years.
And some of them are just legitimately great. And you know what? There's a lot of people who are like, no,
Yeah.
Like people who like to like not just like they're not just novels for teenagers. There's a lot of people who are like, no, these novels are legitimately they go hard.
Yeah,
right. They're good.
Yeah. Yeah. There's they do a top 10 of their best novels every year.
Yeah.
And like they just publish a lot.
There's a
right?
market for it.
Yeah. Loreheads love it.
Yeah.
And like solidly 1 or 2 of those books per year is going to be a decent read.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's not going to be anything profound, but stuff's going to happen in it.
Yeah, you can. It's a great place to elevate because there's so many people who would love to write for Magic: The Gathering.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have such a deep pool of talent of writers that you're already working with, and then all of the people who do the side stories, and maybe people who haven't even been hired yet to write stupid books where stupid things happen to characters that aren't of any consequence.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the great and I think one of the things that Games Workshop does well is that they don't focus the new there will be a new novel for whatever event is happening in the game, but most of them just don't care. They take place in the universe somewhere, right, with characters who may or may not have models or any presence in the game itself.
Oh wow, they're just like all right, let just go play around in our fridge. It's so well stocked.
Yeah. Make our universe just a little bit deeper.
Yeah, make some sandwiches, leave them behind for other people, and if we really like the sandwiches that you made, maybe they get models and we get stuff that people are invested in.
Yeah.
What a concept.
For those keeping score, I agree with everything you just said, by the way. For those keeping score who aren't familiar, it is called the Commander Collection, the thing I was talking about.
Okay, yeah.
The most recent one, they made green and then they made black, and black came out January 28th, 2022, so 3 years ago, more than 3 years ago. And it had Ghoul Caller Gisa, Ophiomancer, Phyrexian Arena, Reanimate, Toxic Deluge, Liliana, Heretical Healer, most of them with new art, and then a Sol Ring and a Command Tower that were specifically like black aligned with like new flavor text and everything, and a double-sided token with a Death Touch Snake token for the Ophiomancer,
Yes.
and a cool-looking zombie of
For Liliana.
or
Liliana's brother.
Josu.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, Josu.
But it's just a zombie token, but it's
Josu.
But it's clearly Josu on the token. It's a very cool token.
Big oopsie. So that's essentially a very fancy secret layer.
Yeah. But finish the cycle. Magic players famously hate it when you don't finish the cycle. We did too, and that was it.
Yeah. Commander players the world over are just like that photo of the kid in high school who's like beat red with veins standing out on his neck, waiting for the final 3 Commander arsenals.
That's me.
Yeah.
All right, next question.
I didn't even listen to the name. The fundamental question we came out of that with, I did not get the name of for that product.
The Commander Collection.
Commander Collections.
Our next question from Humbro. When do you feel Magic peaked for you? For me, it was before the Masters sets. Ooh.
I think it peaked for me when I was in grade 9 and didn't fully understand how the game worked. Got to stay up till 11 o'clock on weekends, hang out with my friends. Didn't really have a responsibility yet. Didn't know how to drive. Didn't have a job. I think that was probably when Magic was at its sweetest.
I don't think we can top this answer.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I'm still enjoying it. Like, yeah, peaked. That implies that it's all been downhill.
Yeah, I don't think it has been.
No.
I feel like everything has like natural high. What's the highest high? It's very hard to look back and say this is the highest high unless you have this Elysian childhood memory of Magic: The Gathering. I don't know. I won Game Nights live in Vegas. That was pretty good.
I was going to say, winning the Game Nights Championship has got to be pretty big.
Getting flown around the world to do Magic events is kind of sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, Magic continues to treat me surprisingly well, and I'm try to be humble and grateful for it. Next question.
Yeah. Alex asks, favorite and least favorite mechanic from the last year?
What are the mechanics for the last 12 months? No, they don't mean 2025.
I assume from like Murders of
2024.
Karloff Manor would have been the analogous set last year. for
Right.
this period of
Okay.
time.
Okay.
Honestly, collecting evidence was good.
I did not like collecting evidence.
I liked collecting evidence. I didn't like Cloak or was it Disguise and Cloak? The two like new morph and manifest variants.
Yeah.
You know what worked out surprisingly well was Rooms. I thought
rooms were good. Rooms were clever.
Rooms was really good.
What was the mechanical thing about Bloomborough? It didn't really have a special one, right?
It had Valiant, which was like heroic, but just the once.
Oh, and then you could make the Offspring tokens.
Offspring was very fun and cute. And there was Threshold was back.
Offspring, Valiant, Forage.
Oh yeah. Okay, Forage was okay.
Expend, Gift.
Oh, Gift.
Gift of fish.
I did like Expend also as well. That was fun.
I think the mechanic that I've liked the least that I've played. No, wait, it didn't come out in the last year. OTJ was.
No, OTJ was last year.
Counts.
I don't like Mount.
Yeah.
I mean,
I couldn't qualify why I dislike Mount to you.
It's vehicle different.
Yeah, it's vehicle different, I think.
Yeah.
And then also cases I didn't like. Because they were like...
It was confusing when you
like,
solved them.
I wanted it to be a saga when I looked at the card, and it was never a saga. It was just this thing that looked like a saga, but wasn't one.
Right.
Do you have the list in front of you, James?
No, I was just pulling up the sets.
Okay, I'm trying to remember what else was in Thunder Junction. We had, because obviously we talked about mounts. Spree, doing a crime.
Yeah.
I mean, doing a crime was just giving a keyword to something that you did anyhow. And I did not, like, Spree was kicker.
Spree was fine.
With variety.
Spree reminded me more of Strive from...
Oh, yeah, from Theros Block.
Theros Block.
Yeah, I'm actually prepared to call it here, the longer I think about this. Rooms. Rooms were great.
Yeah, Rooms were great. Also, Manifest Dread was very cool and powerful.
Yes. Actually,
Duskmourn mechanically was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Duskmourn Limited and mechanically was well designed and fun to do.
Yeah.
And I think the vibe was like just like half off, I think is the consensus on it. And I'm prepared to like broadly agree with that.
The vibe in the stories was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The stories were proper.
The stories, such troopers, the authors, to be like, what am I doing? Okay.
What were your thoughts on free running?
Oh, right.
Oh, from Assassin's
Creed.
Creed.
From the Assassin's Creed set.
I have not played a single card.
Can I try to remember what this even is?
I don't know what it is.
I'm pretty sure that it was similar to a mechanic that I don't remember the name of also from Lorwyn Shadowmoor, where it's like if you hit your opponent with a fairy or rogue, and I'm pretty sure that free running is like if you deal combat damage with an assassin or commander, then you get to do something for cheaper, or you get some other benefit.
I'm upset already.
You went a little too far. You had it perfectly right. You may cast a spell for the free running cost if you dealt combat damage to a player this turn with a assassin or commander.
There we go.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
So a slight discount.
Yeah. So it is basically like, what was that ability called? It wasn't Skulk, because that's a whole different thing. But do any of your fairies have this, where it's like if you deal damage with a
fairy,
or rogue
bonus? Yeah, I think so, and I'm trying to remember what it is.
I swear it starts with an S, but I don't remember what it's called. Anyway, yeah, free running's fine, I guess. Sure, it's like that, but with assassins. Was there another unique mechanic to the Assassin's Creed?
No,
thing?
It
Just
looks
that?
like that.
Okay.
And I'm trying to think if there was anything in Modern Horizons 3.
Oh, right.
New? I don't think
no,
so.
Modern Horizons. Oh, well, no,
there's new cards, but I don't think...
I think it was all the same. I don't think there was new mechanics.
No.
Because I'm recalling that we did some sort of Modern Horizons video.
Yeah, I think the idea with those sets are like... there's like a billion returning mechanics, but none of them are actually new.
Yeah.
Actually, if I could go back and amend an earlier answer or refine an earlier answer, I would love to do that, and would say that Magic peaked for me the time I was playing at lunch with friends, and I crewed a Vidalian war machine with my entire board, swung with it, and did not get terrored.
Ooh.
That was Magic at its best.
Hell yeah, good times.
It's all been a trail of misery since then.
All right, next question. King of Doma asks, so, now that it's been a few weeks, how are we feeling about commander brackets? Any glaring omissions you hope they address in the full version? I don't know about the second part of that, about glaring omissions, no idea. But so far, and having come back from a Magic Con where they were like actively play testing this in the area, in the command zone play area, with like little signs being like, bracket 2, bracket 4, things like that. I think it worked really well, because what I love is we did an episode of Tap Tap about the commander brackets, and there was a comment from someone who was like, they were like, I don't really, they say that this is supposed to sort of make sense like this, but I don't really know, because like I kind of feel like, I have this deck, and this deck, it's like a 2.5, and I'm like, no, it's not.
It's a 2.
With a 1 to 10 scale, there was room for that. With this, it's very clear. Something either is 2 or not, or it is 3 or not. There are very clear distinctions about what bracket a thing goes in. And there's different, reasoning for that. And, again, read the article, not the little graphic that Wizards did. In fact, read the more fulsome graphic that Rachel Weeks put together for sort of idea on the philosophy behind the brackets. But there's no such thing as a 3.5 or a 2.5. It's like, no, does it fit this? Then it's 2. Does it fit this? Then it's 3, right? And it means that, I don't know. I didn't play any Commander at MagicCon, but there were tables of people with the signs, and they would have known what they were sitting down to do. So I think it's a step in the right direction.
I played some Commander at MagicCon, so I have a pre-con deck that I bring to Magic Cons, because it's pretty quick and easy to play, and I've played a lot, so if I'm playing with you, I don't have to read my cards too much. I still misplay it. But anyhow, it is the Throne of Eldraine Tegwill deck, but I'm running a Layla as the commander, and I've added some different cards over the time. But it still contains 0 game changers, tutors, extra turns. So it is a tuned up pre-con, but it is not on the level of something that has been built, right? I will have, this is not me, this is me sort of saying, the brackets are just a power level discussion. How well you play and how lucky you get on your draws can really affect how your deck does. Because
what did you say, speaking of Blue Sky, what did you say on Blue Sky about this deck?
Oh yeah, I took a pre-con and I added some cards to improve it, and then I added some cards to make it worse, because I like those cards better than good cards.
Yeah.
I think my pet commander deck, my Ramirez deck, is a solid 1. And it is designed with the philosophy that every time I draw a card, I look at it and go, yeah.
Yeah, because it's a common commander deck.
Yeah.
It's a proper commander deck.
Every card in that deck is a card I feel warmly about.
Yeah.
Maybe not excited about, but it's a card where I look at it and I'm like, hey, I like you.
That's the very definition of a 1.
Yeah.
In terms of the pure utility of having a pregame power level discussion, the brackets are already so much better than an arbitrary 1 through 10.
Yeah,
and
my deck's a 7.
Yeah, and you can have feelings about specific game changers or the things that they have determined make the difference between a 1 and a 2 or a 2 and a 3. That you can definitely. I'm not saying they're perfect, right? But the structure of it is already so much better than vibes based scale.
Yeah.
The decimal conversation reminds me so much of the time that I got an 89.7 at the end of term in one of my classes, and I went to see the prof about it, and I was just like, this is
the difference between an A and an...
Yeah, the 0.3, could we round this up to an A+? And he was like, you should have gotten that extra 0.3. That's why we have those.
Oh, God.
Right? Yeah, I agree. If we didn't have the decimal points, 89.7 would round up to a 90. But you know what 89.7 rounds up to? Considering we have these decimal points? 89.7.
Wow.
Yikes. But here...
Wow. I was like, okay.
I guess.
Yeah, there's some intent to these cards. But I will say, I did test the deck after I added a bunch of these bad cards. Some of them are good cards.
Some of these bad cards are good, actually.
Well, I added the enchantment Dire Undercurrents, which is an old Lorwyn.
Oh, yeah.
And whenever a blue creature comes into play, you draw a card. Whenever a black creature comes into play, you discard a card. But it is a 5-mana enchantment that does nothing, right? On its own. By Magic standards today, that doesn't do anything the turns it comes down. It doesn't get me immediate advantage. Nothing even happens on my upkeep, right? Or my end step.
You got to play creatures to do stuff.
I got to play creatures. And the thing is, I got to I can make creatures on other people's turns, but I just paid 5 mana for an enchantment, so I'm probably not going to get that for a turn.
You get to stack those. If you play a creature that's both colors, you get to stack those triggers so that it's a loot, not a rummage, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, no, it's an opponent discards a card. I don't discard.
Oh. Now that I think about it, maybe my deck is actually way higher than a 1 because it's got transmute cards in it.
Oh.
Where do those fall?
I have no idea.
I don't think it.
I don't think
that.
I think it's probably still a 1.
I don't think they count as tutors because they're not.
They've made
I
vampiric
don't know.
tutor, though, when they say tutors. Like the good ones.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm playing the world's worst tutors, so who can say? But they're still tutors.
Next.
Maybe mine's a 1.2.
No.
1.3.
Killian asks, you all came back to the game almost 15 years ago. What? And in that time, Magic has changed a lot. That is true. What are some of the best changes and what are some of the worst in your opinion? Interesting. Okay. Some of the best changes. Hey, I'm just going to say it. Arena beats the pants off of Mitgo.
Yeah. Arena's just... It had a rough start, but I think anything that big is going to have a rough start.
I know there are advantages to Mitgo. I understand that it's much more like 1-to-1 with the paper game in terms of the cards that you can play. I get it. But in terms of just cleanliness of use and just sitting down and doing a draft is so nice, and I can play it on my phone. And I shouldn't, but I can, and I do.
Controversial opinion. I'm going to come out swinging here. If you hate listening to this, waiting for something for your Receipts blog because it's 2012, then, get out your pen and pencil.
I'm eager.
Explicit Commander products, like products that were designed specifically for Commander, like Commander Masters, pre-printed Commander decks with new cards in them.
Mm-hmm.
It's just everything has so many words on it, and
they're I'm using air quotes here for those listening. They're too good.
They're hyper tuned.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think Wheeler's talked about this before. I think on this podcast that cards that are very explicitly designed for Commander are kind of a mess.
Yeah.
Sometimes, whereas cards that are I've discovered a way that this could be good in Commander is much more interesting than this is obviously. And I don't mean you look at it in a draft pack and you're like, this is a Commander card. I mean ones that are in a Commander product where it's we're making a product here that's just a Commander product. We can do whatever we want. So we'll design a card that does this. And it's that's so arbitrarily powerful.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe this is a boomer Magic opinion. It actually is a boomer Magic opinion. But I like sorting through the dollar rares.
And finding something neat and going, ooh, look what I can do.
This would work.
Mm-hmm.
I think the best thing that has come out of Magic has been the last 15 years.
I think one of the things I have disliked is the aggressive monetization of FOMO in how secret lairs are sold now. I didn't like it when they launched secret lairs, that it was you have to buy this now. You have a window of hours before they're sold out. And they were okay, people didn't like that. So now they're open for a set period of time. You have opportunity to get it. And it's just the ceiling is however many we sell when it cuts off. And that was good. Mm-hmm. And now that they're okay, it's open for 2 weeks, but once it sells out, that's it. Hate that. I am a sucker, and I haven't bought a secret lair in a long time because the new system is bad.
Yeah, it means that you can't be I was going to get that. Yeah. I should get that.
Yeah. I get they even send me the emails and they're hey, a new secret lair's launching. And I'm oh, right. I guess that was this morning. I could probably go look. Oh, the ones I wanted are gone. Okay. Well, now I just feel bad.
I didn't mind the print to order system at all.
Yeah.
Right.
Print to order. I didn't mind waiting 5 months to get the thing that I ordered because I actually got the thing that I ordered.
Yeah. You were able to purchase it for the money that you wanted to give them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so we're hearing that the print-to-order secret layer system was great. And I do have to say, in general, I like the idea of secret layers because it is a way to get more copies of cards that people want for their decks out there. You're basically, it's like, I don't know.
It's just fun.
It's like the Marvel Snap alternate art treatment, right?
Yeah.
Like there's like a million different Iron Mangs that you can have, but you can have your own the special Iron Man that you like best, and you can bling out your deck, and it's fun and it's collectible, and you don't have to pay for these, but it does drive down the price of the normal art, which is still so good because Magic card art bangs, right? And I think that is a general benefit for making weird esoteric cards more available.
Yeah.
Right? I
like when they do weird stuff with the secret layers, like the rules text land.
Yeah.
I thought were hilarious.
It's funny.
Right? The Junji Ito alt art. Like, does it matter if Doomsday is like a $5 card? Not really. I'm not here for value.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like anytime that they reproduce or retake out something that's like a $10 card, and they're like, it's not like the most expensive card, but here's the deal: there's a few more copies, and it drives down. And I like that, making it more accessible.
I did appreciate also because they did that. They did the rules tech secret layer lands, but it was still just like 5 cards, right? And it's like these are basic lands. But more recently, when they did
for the Ionic lands,
yes, they did some very fancy looking ones, including a particularly suggestive island. Those were 10.
Yeah,
was it 10 basic lands in a thing? Good.
That's how many you want.
Then you can put together a draft kit of these particular lands. I didn't buy those ones, but they looked cool. Yeah. I did say a good thing, right? What was the good thing I said? Arena.
Yeah.
Yeah. Arena's on my phone. I can play Magic on my phone.
I'm going to say the nadir of Magic for the past 15 years is when we had the Theros block that didn't even get a story. And people are like, what's going on? And they're like, we've canceled the story.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, Beyond Death.
Yeah.
There wasn't web fiction. It was just there was a trailer, and it's like there's Elspeth and Ashiok, and things are happening.
Yeah, it's all been very much like, well, yeah, this is what happened.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was bad. The story is coming back. I appreciate it.
Next, BD648 asks, if you were a new player wanting to get into Magic lore, how would you get started? Current story? Good old story? Books? ?
I would start with the current story because it's well written and interesting. I would just read the story for the block that you're reading so you understand what's going on. And if you're like, who are these characters? Great. You can dig into a whole bunch of extra resources. Or you could just keep up with what is going. Mm-hmm. That's what I would do.
Tarkir Dragonstorm has 7 pieces of main story and 5 side stories.
Yes.
That's a lot.
That's 12.
Mm-hmm. That's great. That's correct.
But it's a 7 story.
Now, what if it was 6 side stories?
Well, I assume it's 1 for every clan.
No, I know. I was just saying you did the math really quickly. Not really. You did simple math. I was just. You were like, that's 12. And I'm like, yes. But what if the numbers were different?
That's quite a bit of. When you're like, that's quite a bit. It is quite a bit of fiction. Like 12 pieces of. I think the side stories are like 5,000 words. So we've got 5 of them, 25,000 words. That's a novella. So think of it this way. They also have audio fiction for it.
Oh, yeah, you can just listen. That counts as reading a book.
There's also the MTG Vorthos subreddit, and those people are so excited to get in there. But yeah, Magic story is crafted with love. I would read the story for the most recent set. And if you like it, there's more.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Next. Tap and Roll asks, half the standard sets are Universes Beyond products this year. UB sets have significantly higher costs due to licensing. LGSs are already struggling. Is this tenable? Can I, before we jump into this, can I push back on the premise of part of this question, which is that UB sets have higher costs due to licensing? That's not why. Because there are licensing costs, but the expectation is that they do that because they know that these will make money. It's not there's licensing costs, so Wizards has to charge more. It's there are licensing costs and Wizards charges more because they know they can sell these for higher because they're a thing that people want.
Obviously,
those are separate.
We don't know this, but
I'm just saying that's not an excuse. I
would imagine there's also some kind of like profit sharing arrangement.
Yeah.
Between the licensee and the licensor, right? Because
it's not like Wizards. Sorry, we do a lot of work with Wizards, but I'm just saying, Wizards has never said this. Also, by the way, this is an excuse that people have made up. Wizards has not said, well, the licensing costs means we have to charge more for Final Fantasy than a normal standard set. That's something other people have invented as a defense, I guess. I don't think it's good for what it's worth. I think, especially now that all UB is standard, I think that having some standard sets are just $2 more because it's got Cloud on the box. I don't like that. Yeah. As a Cloud enjoyer, right? I'm very excited about Final Fantasy. I don't know. I mean, like, LGSs are struggling for other reasons. Like, to the benefit of LGSs, Wizards finally brought back MSRP, right? Like, that was not good for LGSs when they did away with MSRP. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited about that. I think what's harming LGSs is not even that, but it's that, like, the higher costs that an LGS is obliged to charge versus what you can get Magic for on, I guess, Amazon. I've never bought Magic on Amazon, and I never will, but that's beside the point.
There's some real reliability issues with buying your Magic from Amazon, though.
If you buy it from, like, specifically the Magic the Gathering store, but check that.
Yeah.
Because you can get got. I've seen horror stories about, like, I bought this off Amazon, and it was full of bricks,
Yeah, because the Amazon does not want you to find the Magic the Gathering store. They want you to find reseller who is paid for elevation and search result.
Yeah. I don't. Okay.
Don't buy things from Amazon, period. But that's just me.
Other options are available. I would say here's my problem with this the question. Local game stores are struggling. I don't think local game stores are struggling because UB sets have a higher price tag. I don't like that UB sets have a higher price tag. I think that's bad. And also, they have a higher price tag not because of licensing costs, but because Wizards knows they can just sell them for more because people will buy them. Like Final Fantasy, their Amazon pre-order link broke because people were clicking it so much. Like, they're gonna sell. So they have said time and again, they're like, if Universes Beyond didn't sell like hotcakes, we would stop. But there is a vocal pushback against them from some people online, but they're selling. They're selling really well.
Yeah.
So
for every entrenched Magic player who's like, I don't like this, I want to keep my Magic lore special, there are, 5 people who are like, oh my God, I love Final Fantasy.
I would allege that LGSs are probably struggling because of just the state of everything in the economy and
I would say
many costs.
Venture capital siphoning up property as a guaranteed investment stream.
Rents are going up. Mortgages are going up.
Yeah. LGS is like definitionally are businesses that are kind of like luxury goods, which people will forego when like food and rent get expensive.
Yeah. I don't have an answer for how to save the local game store, but a couple dollars more for a UB pack is not what's harming them, but also they shouldn't cost more.
Yeah, it doesn't help.
Yeah, I hope that part's coming across.
Yeah.
Yes, that part's coming across.
I want to make it really clear.
Yeah. The surcharge sure don't help.
Yeah. Next question. From Julian Rogue. Not in the new season because spoilers, but what's your favorite joke or gag from previous seasons of Friday Nights? Ooh.
Man, it might just be in the first episode where Kathleen is hiding behind a stand in the back of Yellow Jacket as more and more people are revealed to be breaking the
rule of we can't spend too much on our decks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that it's like I'm in Yellow Jacket and other people come in. They're like, what are you doing here? Like, oh, just buying sleeves. And then there's like someone else pops up and then another person pops up. And then I think many people didn't notice on their first watch that like way in the back is like Also, Kathleen peering around the corner way at the back. I do like that one. That is from like one of the first, if not the first episode. I mean, also from the very first episode, it's been an enduring gag of just listening to someone talk about magic and just magic when it's like when you don't know what they're talking about.
That's pretty darn good. I like that part where we didn't actually, but where we did the gag.
Joe?
No. Actually, us tackling Joe. God.
Yeah. And then the cut to Joe being interviewed in the like karate studio,
the Krav Maga studio.
Yeah, Well, the instructor in the background just wails
shots to the groin of the dummy.
Yeah.
That's also good. I was going to say the one where we like have Ben, not actually, but it's a really good special effect shot of him getting nailed in the side of the head with a can of paint.
That's a good one. I like that a lot.
I liked when we were filming Ben vomiting up the Simic Slaw, and I lift my phone to start filming.
Yeah.
And then you like take it away from me, turn it to landscape mode, and hand it back.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot. I like the gas leak episode where
or the fumigation.
Yeah. Where like James, I think it's James, where you go away to a MagicCon, but you like forget your passport or something, and you come back, and then it's only been like a day, and the whole moon base is a wreck.
Yeah, I believe that's right.
Yeah,
and
like Gib is there, and there's like that. There's like the like the very close shot of Gib like trundling around the moon base, and then there's like a man in a hazmat suit from like the secret door that we never open. I do like that gag. That's a good one. Matt Griffiths used that clip a lot in the 20th anniversary podcast, in the episode we were talking about like the pandemic, that it's like this is what it was like. Gosh, I don't know. There was a lot of really, really, really good stuff. I like the one where Kathleen, it's another one where you're trying to get people ready for the pre-release, but it's for Ixalan. So there's like, you go to the woods. You take people to the woods, and then
the dinosaur.
There's a dinosaur
James
costume.
In the dinosaur costume.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very, very funny.
It's good Cameron scream in that episode.
Yeah, and actually, because this goes out on Monday, so the most recent episode from the new season that will have aired on Friday was the Deckmaster game. This isn't even like a magic joke, but I really love when they're talking about the loner. And they're like, oh, it's not cursed. No, it's cursed. No, it's not cursed. I think it's cursed. No, it's just a bad deck. It's not cursed. And then there's this beat. And then the narrator, that by that point, hopefully, you've forgotten the episode as a narrator, just comes back in with, the loner was cursed. Yeah. Just very, very matter-of-factly. I really enjoy the pacing of that. Yeah.
Next question.
Julian Rogue again asks the same question, because that's the same question, but actually we wanted the next question from Thresher, who says, I'm new to the game. What are the color wedges identities for Tarkir, and who should I choose in my pre-release? Ooh.
Well, they just tuned up all of like what the clans are about now,
because we're in a timeline where they did not come to power revering the dragons.
Yes,
but they had their cons. And now the cons have...
You know what? This
returned.
Is actually too deep for somebody who's new to Magic. They don't need to worry about it.
Okay.
Read the Magic story if you're interested. Let's just talk about what the colors do.
Okay. Mardu is going to be like, that's your red, white, black wedge. They're going to be kind of like aggro, but because of the color diversity, they're more of like a broad-based aggro strategy that is going to want to like attack with multiple creatures.
You're going to make a lot of little dudes, and you're going to turn them sideways, and you're going to have ways to make your little dudes into slightly bigger dudes.
And then you kind of like it synergizes with losing your little dudes. It's kind of like an attrition strategy.
Yeah, you don't care about losing a few little dudes because you have so many little dudes, and they still trade up for like the 2 or 3 dudes on the other side of the table.
And when they die, you get value.
Yeah.
So
that's your Mardu deck.
Yeah.
Sultai.
That's blue, black, green.
Blue, black, green. Speaking of value, Blue, black, green, all colors that love value. Sultai creatures are going to be usually higher on the toughness than the power. They're going to be sort of like your mid-range strategy, where if the game goes a little bit longer, your creatures start to get a lot bigger than your opponent's creatures, and you just get them on incremental value. You have ways to pull things out of your graveyard. You have ways to get rid of their spells. You have ways to ramp yourself in mana so you can cast those big, expensive things faster. That is your Sultai sort of value mid-range strategy.
Yeah. Abzan are going to be, again, kind of another...
This is green, black, white.
Yes. Abzan has a lot of like life drain effects.
Life drain and life gain and walls. Like defenders. Like Abzan does a lot of sort of shoring things up and like sort of Abzan goes, whoa now.
Yeah.
Abzan wants to slow things down and then build up its own resources and then pummel you with big things.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That color wedge, affectionately sometimes referred to as junk, at least by old heads. Alex Stacey, our friend, once described it very aptly as building a shipping container of value that is slowly lowered onto your opponent.
Yeah.
Crushing them.
Yeah.
Right? Like, all of your dudes are just kind of like a little bit better than everyone else's, or a little bit cheaper for what their stat line is. And it's just kind of like local superiority distributed across the entire battlefield.
Yeah. Teamer is green, red, blue, and Teamer tends to operate on sort of like mid-sized creatures supported and protected by spells. So like, you've got like a decent sort of green creature, and then you can spend a red spell to make the creature bigger and scarier, and a blue spell to stop your opponent from hurting it.
Yeah.
I guess would be a very simplistic way of looking at Teamer.
Red-green.
Teamer can do big spell stuff as well, but they have a ground support of reliable beasties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Teamer is big things that want to, like, all of these things are aggressive, right? But Teamer is like probably the biggest, punchiest wedge, right?
Yeah, Mardu's the lowest and most aggressive.
Yeah.
And then Teamer is like...
Teamer is going to be like the Timmy kind of deck.
I want to make dragons.
Yeah, if you want to make big, cool monsters and then leverage those monsters to put your opponent in the ground, Teamer might be the color for you.
And finally, Jeskai, which is white, blue, red, which has a lot of spellcraft and flying. And
their creatures tend to be kind of small, but they get bigger with the spells that are cast.
yeah, prowess.
Right? Prowess, yeah.
They have access to the best flyers, the most flyers in the game.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was me cutting in. I'm trying to find what the mythic spoiler is, if there's any like spoilers or previews out for the new set yet, and there aren't really, are there?
There's not been a lot.
Because like the thing is, I don't like. It's hard to speculate on exactly what they're going to do.
And it's also worth noting that like because the wedges share colors with each other in your pre-release.
Oh yes.
Like if you are playing Mardu, you might get a lot of cards that were meant for Abzan, which will still have a home in your deck because they share the white and black color identities. So like when we say that Mardu is generally small creatures that are aggressive and Abzan are like mid-range creatures that have a more grindy strategy to them, there's interplay between those two. So don't get too fixated on the watermark on the card.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you got to think, so say you're playing Mardu, you can also look at your packs. Jeskai, that's two of your colors.
Yeah, yeah.
So a little aggressive red-white guy in Jeskai may have slightly different flavoring than a Mardu aggressive red-white guy. Like maybe the Jeskai one flies and the Mardu one, gets first strike on your turn. I don't know what these cards do.
We
haven't
haven't seen the set yet.
We don't know what this is going to be in the set yet. This is just general vibes. But you can definitely look at that and say, are these the colors that I have access to?
Yeah, like a Jeskai deck might get more value out of like a lightning helix, like a damage spell.
Yeah.
Right, in red and white. But that's still going to clear the board for a Mardu deck.
Exactly.
To get in.
Yeah, maybe you don't care about the prowess trigger, but you care about dealing 3 damage to opponent's creature.
Yeah.
Right.
So there you go. Hope that helped. Reminder that for your Tarkir Dragonstorm pre-release, that atypically you get to choose your clan while supplies last, I assume, and rather than 6 booster packs of Dragons of Tarkir, not Dragons of Tarkir, Tarkir Dragonstorm, rather than 6 packs of that, you get 5 packs of that, and then 1 pack that is seeded for your.
So you get what you want.
Your clan of choice that will probably, based on previous things, I don't know what's in the new ones, but based on previous things, it'll probably have like a Tri-land or some other like thing that will definitely go in your deck, and then a bunch of creatures that might go in your deck, creatures and spells that might go in your deck.
Yeah.
And then a rare of some kind.
Exactly.
Yeah. Next question.
Last question.
Last question.
It's a really good one.
I bet it is. From Lord, time for a new bit, buddy, Hosk. What's the best 2-mana black sorcery with a 6-mana flashback cost in all of Magic?
Is it Bump in the Night?
I believe that would be Bump in the Night.
2 mana? I thought Bump only cost 1.
No, I thought...
Oh, yeah, no, Bump in the Night's only 1.
Oh, wait.
So
okay.
wait, what's Hosk talking about?
Oh, my God.
I think Hosk messed up his own joke. Which
Okay,
I
is
love.
there-
I was so primed for that, and then I was like, 2 mana.
Yeah, no,
Is there a card that fits his definition?
I don't know.
I'm pulling up Scryfall right now.
I do not know how to use
Advanced
Scry.
search.
Yeah, I do not know how to use Scryfall well enough to figure that one out.
Okay, wait. Black is
Yeah.
exactly these colors.
Yeah.
Mana cost
2.
2.
2.
And then flashback in the rules text. Right?
Yeah.
If it lets you type, sometimes Scryfall on mobile just won't invoke the keyboard.
Sets. Criteria.
No, like near the top, there's a thing for rules text. It's like the second or third
yes.
one down. So flashback in there. So yeah, black flashback with mana value 2.
Yeah, this is going to return, like, maybe a handful of cards.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Wait, how do I make... Wait. Mana value is equal to...
just watch
2.
it.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not mana value is too generic.
Watch
Instead.
millennials go on the internet.
Search with these options. Okay.
How many are
we've
there?
got 3.
Okay. Hosk, you're getting what you wanted here.
Okay, so there's Chainer's Edict.
Oh,
Target
yeah.
player sacrifices a creature. Flashback 7.
Now the
Wait, that's an instant, though.
that's
It's
true.
a sorcery.
Oh, it's a
Oh, it is?
sorcery.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
no,
the-
Chainer's Edict, I think, clears.
Now, did Husk's question say flashback cost of 6?
Yes, he did.
Okay,
That's
well-
7. Nope.
Oh.
Can't be Chainer's
Okay.
Edict.
Well, bad news. Eviscerator's Insight is
What?
a 2-mana it looks from it's one of them Eldrazi and Innistradi things, I think. I don't know what set this is.
Oh, that's Modern Horizons.
Yeah, that's MH3.
Oh, okay. Eviscerator's Insight. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice an artifact or creature, draw 2 cards, flashback of 5.
So the flashback's wrong, and this is an instant. And then
Okay.
what's our third option?
Oh, their third option is a sorcery. It's Morgue Theft.
What?
It's from Onslaught, it looks like. 1 and a
The
black.
OG flashback.
Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand, flashback of 5. That's on. Is that Onslaught? What
That
the
is
set say?
Odyssey.
Odyssey.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Well, I don't know
I
why
guess-
you're upset.
I guess
Lord
this
Hosk
is
is the
a,
one that asked a question that has no answer.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you should design one, Hosk.
I mean, I feel like we're going with Chainer's Edict, though. Like, it doesn't...
Chainer's Edict comes the... Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, given the parameters, I think Chainer's Edict comes the closest to being...
A 2-mana black spell with flashback.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and is also a legitimately good card.
Yes.
Yeah. So there you go. Chainer's Edict. Taste it. That's going to do it for Tap Tap Concede this week. I want to remind everybody that you yourself can get a copy of Chainer's Edict, probably, from cardkingdom.com/LRR. You can use their deck builder to throw a whole deck list in there, and it'll show you it'll show you all the cards and give you options for buying them. And don't forget that you can sell them your cards. You can sell cards to them for cash money or store credit. And both of those are good things to do. Also, LRRMTG 5 to get yourself a 5% discount on anything you buy from Dragon Shield. And, of course, this show and everything we do is brought to you by you and your support of either our Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun or by becoming a member on this YouTube channel. We really appreciate that you let us keep doing this. Until next time, I've been Graham, joined by Kathleen.
Hey, I looked it up. Card Kingdom has 13 Chainer's Edicts at near mint available, 35 cents each.
Nice. Cameron.
Huh?
James has been on tech. Heather gets these online. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.